Brian here again, coming at you today with a video on some fish food that I recently tried. It's called Southern Delight. A lot of you have probably heard about it. There's been a lot of buzz on YouTube about it lately in the fish tank community, so thought I would give it a try. Big shout out to Mike, Mr. Man 316. He hooked me up with some free samples of it a couple of weeks ago now, but I'm getting around now to kind of putting together a video of all the footage of my different feedings. So it's going to be a long video, so bear with me. But what I've got is I tried it on a few different types of my fish. He sent me the large cichlid formula, the small cichlid formula, the power feed, and the veggie krill. So those are the four that I tried. I tried the large and small cichlid formula here on the Africans, and I think the veggie krill, if I'm not mistaken. On the Hogas down in my basement, I tried the large cichlid formula, the veggie krill, and the power feed. And on my African cichlid grow outs down in the basement, I tried the small cichlid formula. I think probably what I'll do is just show you guys what the results were, and let you see for yourself. I don't really want to call this a product review because I was just working off of a sample, so I didn't really have enough for a long-term analysis of it, I guess. A lot of fish take a long time to get used to a certain type of food, and they definitely sometimes can take a while to for you to see effects of the food, such as changes in colors and stuff like that. So I just want to make that clear. So I'm not going to call this a review, more as just a here's what happened in about a week's worth of time feeding my fish Southern Delight fish food. So I'll show you guys now, starting with the African tank here, and we'll go from there. Alright, so here I am getting ready to feed some of the large cichlid formula. You can tell the Africans just love it, splashing all around trying to get to it. And here is some of the veggie krill. Couldn't really see that well. You can see water splashing out of the tank, so that's a good sign. And I decided to film a second feeding on the second day here, just to show you again. With the African cichlids, some large cichlid formula, going completely nuts. You can see water flying out of the tank. And then I think I'm going to do some small cichlid formula here this time, so the smaller guys can get at it too in the tank. You can see they just go crazy over it. So I would give the Southern Delight an A+ as far as the Africans at least taking to it and liking it. Okay, so that was my 125 gallon, the big Africans. Now I'll show you guys on the African cichlids, the two grow out tanks. Actually, I think I only did it on one of the grow out tanks down in the basement, so I'll show you that footage now. Okay, so here I am with the African cichlid grow out tank in my basement. Gonna feed them some small cichlid formula here. They're going, it's feeding time, so there they go, they're going nuts for it. So worked out well for the African cichlid fry tank or grow out tank, whatever you want to call it. I guess I won't show you guys multiple days footage on this because they took to it right away. Now I'm going to show you the Hoga footage. This is going to be the longest footage because this is the one I concentrated on the most. As you saw from the prior feedings with the African cichlids, they took to it right away. You're going to see something a little bit different here with the Hogas. Those of you who don't know too, Hogas, they're Cephelopod hogaboomerum is the scientific name for these fish. They're South American cichlids. So I'll show you guys the footage here on the Hogas right now. Alright, so we're downstairs at the hogaboomerum tank, and we're going to try some large cichlid formula here. Just getting ready to drop it in. Okay, so that one took and then spit out the first pellet. It was a sinking pellet. And then it's hard to tell from the camera, but at one point here he or she takes one pellet and does eat it. I'm not sure where in the footage. Here it is, but as you can tell, I'm kind of doing a voiceover of the footage I took. There's some pellets sinking in this guy over here on this side. Okay, now we're back over to the other side. That, I think, was where he or she did take one pellet, and of course... Okay, now, that's still the large cichlid formula there, I believe. Right there. I think that's the spot. At any rate, on day one, the Hoga on the right side of the divider took one pellet, and that was all the interest they had at that point. So what I'm going to do right now is just speed up the footage so that this video doesn't take forever. Okay, what I'm doing next here is I do put in a little bit of the power feed, and there it is. You can trust me, there was no interest at this point, so I'm not trying to disguise anything by speeding it up or anything like that. Just trying to save time on this video here. So, on to day 2. Okay, some large cichlid formula on the second feeding here. Again, I'm just speeding this up because I've got so much footage and I want to get it all in there. If you want to stop and pause it for any reason, feel free. One thing I will say too is that the tiger barbs that I have in here for dithers love this stuff. They took to it right away if it was small enough for them to eat. Some power feed there. The prior bag that I held up, I think must have been the veggie krill. Yeah, we didn't have much luck on the second day. There was a spot right there where he was really interested in one, but he didn't take it. I'm sorry, here's actually the veggie krill. They didn't take to it there either. This one, the one on the right side, sniffed around a little again, but didn't eat any of it. Okay, so here we are on the third feeding day, starting with some power feed. As you can see, just not getting any interest yet from the Hogas. The dithers, the tinfoil barbs I got in there, they love it. Here's some large cichlid formula. Just not going for it yet at this point, and some veggie krill. The veggie krill, I think, is the one that they end up starting to snoop around at a little bit. But yeah, this is the third feeding at this point here. Alright, so this is the fourth feeding, starting with some veggie krill. When it's sped up, here's some large cichlid formula. I was going to say when it sped up, it did look like he was going to take it, but he wasn't. He just was going over to sniff it a little bit or check it out. But at this point yet, there still wasn't any eating. Here's some power feed. Still not getting the interest we were hoping for here, but we'll keep on. Okay, so here we are to the fifth feeding, starting with the veggie krill again. As you can see, the tinfoil barbs love it. Sparking a little interest in the Hoga. Here we go with some of the power feed, I believe, or the large cichlid formula. At this point, there's a large cichlid formula. At this point, they're definitely not interested in the floating pieces, although they are showing a little bit of interest here and there in the sinking stuff. Even if they're not taking it, I think it's a good sign. These are just picky fish. I'm not sure if all Hoga boomerums are that way, but at any rate, they're just not used to floating pellets, number one, and this is a new food for them. They've been on the same type of food ever since I got them as just little buggers. So, but you know, you're seeing a little bit of interest here. Just they just haven't taken it yet. So I just continued on. And by the way, this I didn't film. I filmed at least once a day, sometimes both feedings, but I didn't always film both feedings, just to let you know that. So here we are on the 6th day. So this would be probably 3 or 4 days into it, depending on how many times I filmed each of them. Seeing about the same results here as we've been seeing all along. A little bit of interest on sinking pellets, and again, tinfoil barbs are loving it. Just needing some more time with the Hogas and being patient with it, so let's go on to the next day here. So here we are again, starting this time with the large cichlid formula. A little bit of interest. No interest on the floating pellets. I'm not sure if these fish will ever get into that. I suppose if I don't feed them long enough, they will. But just going through the same routine here, trying all 3 formulas, and you know, showing a little bit of interest here and there, being patient with it. Some of the veggie krill. So this is going to be the 8th feeding here. I'm going to start with the large cichlid. Showing some interest. There was a day in here right around this period, I can't remember if I filmed it or not, where he did take one sinking pellet. I forget which kind it was. The whole guy on the right did. The one on the left really just likes to hide up in that corner. That's the female, I think, at this point, and she took quite a thrashing when I took the divider out. This video was taken a couple of weeks ago, and things have changed since then. But at this point, that was what was going on. So anyway, we're just kind of progressing along here, and yeah, let's go on to the next feeding. Okay, so here is the final footage that I took, and I'm starting with some veggie krill. If I'm not mistaken, I believe this is the point where he actually takes some food here. The Hoga on the right. Yep, here we go. This is the footage. Ate a few pieces. Really got me pumped up about it that day. Yeah, giving the thumbs up obviously there. The one on the left still wasn't as interested. So we've got then the large cichlid formula as well we're going to try out. I can't remember if it took any more. I think it just took the veggie krill. But let's go through the footage and see. Again, this was a couple of weeks ago, so it's hard for me to remember. Just took some right there from that. I saw that, right? I wish I would have done a better job of zooming in some of these instances here too, so. Let's see, okay, yeah, here's some power feed now. We're gonna go ahead and give that a shot. Can't remember if he took any of the sinking ones on the power feed here, but we'll find out soon enough. Yeah, well, he spit that out, but he took it in his mouth, and to me that's a great sign. Interested in it, maybe just isn't used to the flavor yet at this point, so. So yeah, you know, so it took about 8 or 9 feedings, and when I say feedings, I'm talking 2 a day, so about 5 days before it finally took a couple of pellets. There was one day you saw early on where the Hoga on the right did take one. Wasn't ever able to get my Hoga on the left, but she was also recovering from an injury at that point, so that had something to do with it. The very next day, I fed the last pieces that I had of this from my samples, and the Hoga on the right did take it again. I did not film it, but I will tell you that much. So anyway, that's the footage. All right, so I'm back again. Thanks for sticking around if you did for the long video. I thought it was important to document multiple days, just, you know, because not all fish take to new foods right away. So my overall response is that I think Southern Delight's probably a great food. My Africans loved it. I would definitely consider using it on my African cichlids. I would consider using it or continuing to try to use it on my Hogas as well. I probably am not gonna just ditch what I've got right now and go out and buy it, but I might. I don't know yet. I'm just kind of it's up in the air for me. Seems like a great food. I want to look into it a little bit further. But if you guys you know, are interested in getting Southern Delight foods, there's a wide variety of different foods that they have. Mr. Man 316, he can hook you up. I know he sells it now, so check him out on YouTube. And if you guys aren't subscribed to him, you know, check out his channel. Great channel, especially for South American cichlid lovers. And he's got a Facebook page now too. I believe it's Aquatic Support Systems, if I'm not mistaken. If I got that wrong, I'm sorry, but check that out as well. So again, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around for the long video. Hope this was worth something to you. You know, like I say, seems like a great food, and you know, we'll see what happens in the future. Thanks guys for watching, and until next time, later.